Today we have joining us my good friends David Kim and Isaac Lee. Welcome onto the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining me. So today I want to start off because both of you are new guests, I want to start off asking the same question that I ask all of my guests. What is your story?
You want to take it first, Isaac?
Sure. So my story is I'm 22 years old. I'm a Korean American. I was originally from OC. I moved down to Santa Clarita around preschool until 8th grade. And then I moved to Northridge, 9th grade to around like sophomore year in college. And then I moved to LA for my LVN program for nursing. And then my family moved to OC. And then from there, I moved back to LA for my RN program. And then, yeah, I'm just kind of grinding through school, full-time job, full-time school.
Yeah, I mean, my story, I was actually born in Korea, but I moved here when I was 1. So technically I'm American. But yeah, I moved here when I was 1. Grew up predominantly in LA, basically grew up there. Then moved to the Valley, and that's where I met basically you guys. I met you guys in the Valley. Went to middle school, high school there. And then for college, I actually went to CSUN for 1 year, but it didn't fit with me. So I moved to COC. Me and Isaac went to school together at COC. Moved there, finished my associates there. And now I'm currently an insurance agent at New York Life. Just started like maybe a month ago. It's pretty fun so far. But yeah, that's my story.
Okay. And for the audience that doesn't know, COC is College of the Canyons, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Something that I'm curious about for both of you guys is there an experience that you remember growing up that has impacted or shaped your life into who you are today? And can you maybe talk about that experience a little bit?
So who I am today, today is kind of like my life kind of revolves around nursing. Like I go to school, it's nursing. I go to work, it's nursing. Like it's just, I kind of need a break from nursing at that point. But earlier in my life, like I had a lot of health issues throughout like my family. Like my mom had cancer when she was diagnosed with stage 4 around 6th grade, my 6th grade, and then she passed in 8th grade. So just that time, like we would always have like a home health nurse that would come in and like take care of her, and seeing his empathy and like how much he cared and like treated for her kind of like inspired me. But obviously that isn't like the only reason why I chose nursing. Like it's a stable job, like the money's good too. But yeah, that was probably one of the biggest reasons why I chose nursing. I also had an experience in high school. I had already known I was doing nursing, so I took like a medical class in high school. And they actually taught me like put people on their left side, like when they're having like seizures or if they're like choking on something and they can't breathe. So my brother actually had a seizure one night in my room, and we shared a room all our lives. So I woke up to him like seizing out. I was like, oh shit, like dude, like what the fuck do I do here? I'm like freaking out. But then I remember that class. And like low key, like if I wasn't there, like I think my brother might have died that night. Because my parents didn't know what was going on. Like I had to yell like for them to come in, like wake up and come in. So like, yeah. So like I've had like those medical experiences in my life.
Yeah.
And just without that knowledge, like I wouldn't have done anything there. Or like the most I would have done is call 911 or something.
Yeah.
So like that kind of pushes me to learn more like while I'm in school. So like when I lose motivation, like because motivation is tough, man.
Yeah.
I've been in school for like 10 months now. I'm almost at the halfway mark for my RN program. And like slowly, little by little, man, like my motivation, you just want to quit. It's going down. It's going down. But like after like I'm hitting the halfway mark, like I feel myself kind of like getting more motivation back just because
Mm.
I'm almost done. Like I'm almost there.
Right.
Exactly. Might as well finish
Yeah,
it off.
like finish
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like those kind of skills, like, you know, what to do when someone's having a seizure, what to do, like how to do CPR. Like I think everyone needs to kind of know those kind of skills, right?
Yeah.
Like I think everyone should know how to do CPR because, you know, yeah, those kind of situations can happen to anyone. Like
Mhm.
it just happened to your brother, and you know, I know your brother, you know, and yeah, those kind of situations happen to anyone. So like those kind of skills, like I feel like it's like a necessity to just
Yeah.
know, just like in the back of your head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess like a incident, and I think a lot of low income immigrant families can relate. I think just watching my parents grow up, like struggling with money, always like, you know, talking about money. Money's always the problem. Like there's always financial problems. I think that always, since I was young, I always wanted to not be like that. Like, of course, my dad and my mom, they're role models to me, but I've always said I never want to live like that. I want to provide something that I didn't get provided when I was younger to my kids. And I think that's one of the reasons like I'm so like I want to make money. I want to succeed because like I've seen how hard it is to struggle. Like I've seen how hard it is to go paycheck to paycheck. I've seen how like hard it is to, you know, always be indebted to other people. Like I've seen that, and personally I don't want to live like that. But you know, I take, you know, like all the hard work that because my dad really put in hard work. You know, he's done so many different types of jobs just to keep the family together. And, you know, I want to take that hard work, but really, you know, work on myself. And I think, you know, this job that I'm at right now teaches me about financial security. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity just to, you know, get forward in life. And yeah, I just want to go the next step. You know, we're young, you know, when are we going to do this again? So I just want to do as much as I can now before I can't.
Yeah, yeah. So hearing you guys talk about your upbringing, it sounds like a lot of that has influenced your job career and the decision that you've made to go into the career paths that you've chosen.
Yeah.
Would you say that's correct?
I'd agree.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I wouldn't like say like that's the sole reason.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know, because like, you know, as you grow older, you just like kind of find out what you want to do, and sometimes, you know, you do some things that like you don't want to do, but eventually it becomes something you like. You know. But yeah, for sure. You know, the experiences that I've experienced when I was young definitely shaped who I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when I was a kid, dude, I wanted to be like firefighter at one point. I wanted to be, like, an astronaut.
Yeah.
And then like what is it? I also wanted to just be like a scientist because I thought science was like very interesting
Right.
at that point in my life.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's like fuck biology, man. Like, chemistry, like
one semester of that made me not want to do that.
Like, science isn't for me.
Well, I mean, you still have a hand in some science.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
do.
health sciences. So
That's like it's more interesting to me, like to learn more about like biology, because like I can relate to it, like
Right.
personally.
yeah.
But like chemistry, like where you learn about like gases and like chemicals, like what am I gonna use that?
It's not for you. I understand. So something that we touched upon a little bit was the idea of motivation. Isaac, you were talking about how it was hard for you to stay motivated.
Yeah.
Currently, is there something that you do in order to try and replenish that sense of motivation? Besides what you already talked about, like just the fact that you can see the end goal.
So it's kind of different depending on what type of situation you're in. Because my motivation for my RN program is different from the motivation I had from my LVN program.
Right.
So my LVN program, I was kind of like, this is like my first medical experience ever. Like, and it wasn't even like my money that I put up. Like it was my family's money.
Oh, and for you know, people that know, what's the difference between LVN and RN? Like,
so LVN is kind of like a step under, it's
right?
Licensed vocational nurse, and then RN is the registered nurse. Like, it's kind of like the hierarchy of the medical system.
Got it.
Okay.
But yeah, like the LVN is able to like pass medications, while the RN you can like kind of delegate those type of tasks. And it's more like a supervising you're more like the supervising nurse.
Like a manager role.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like more leadership.
Mhm.
And you get more pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good plus.
Mhm. Mhm.
But my LVN, because I didn't have my own money that I was putting up, it was my family's money, and I didn't want their money to go to waste because
Mm.
my family wasn't like well off. Like
Right.
we had gone bankrupt and like when I was in 8th grade, 9th grade,
Mm.
because of all the medical bills and all that. So
Yeah.
we went bankrupt, moved to Northridge because it was cheaper.
Mhm.
And because I knew money was a problem for us, like I had so much riding on me. So like that was my motivation, and that kind
Yeah.
of lasted me like the whole program. Like
Wow.
I was like, this is something that I can't take lightly, because if I fail now, like I don't pass this program, we just wasted so much money that my family could have used for
Right.
something else.
Mhm.
So that was more my motivation for LVN, plus the fact that I had no experience in the medical field. So like I was open-eyed to everything, and I was trying to learn as much as I could.
Right.
And then RN, like I'm kind of like putting my own money up. Like I had to pay monthly tuition.
Mhm.
So it's like, because I'm using my own money, it's like I can kind of like take it a little bit more easier.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's just a little harder for me to find motivation this time around, just because I'm more comfortable with giving what I have already rather than
Right.
using somebody else's.
Right. There's no external pressure.
Yeah,
That you feel.
exactly. It
Right.
would just be me trying to focus on what I could be after this program.
Mhm.
That kind of gets me motivated, like what I could do with that RN pay, and like what I could do
Mhm.
with that RN position in a hospital or a SNF.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like motivation in our society right now is just hard. Like, I mean, I open up my phone, I see TikTok, boom, motivation gone. I'm on my bed just looking at TikTok. Like, motivation these days is just hard to come by. I mean, I think I would say for me, it comes from my peers. Like,
Mm.
when I see my peers going forward in life, when I see them doing something, it just gives me that motivation. Like, man, if they can do it, I can do it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, we're all unique people, but if he can do it, I can do it. I think that's my mindset that I have a lot, and
Mhm.
I have a lot of good influences. Like, you guys are great influences. Like when I remember in the beginning when Isaac did the nursing thing, we were actually gonna do it together, but like money problems and like other problems, I didn't do it. But yeah, that motivated me. Like just seeing him, really go through with like this intense program that like, something you would do it in 4 years in college, you cram it into like a couple years. What is like a year?
It was 13 months.
13 months, right?
13
And so like
months.
just seeing him going through that, like, that motivates me. I would say, being the oldest in my family, that really that has like a internal pressure for sure.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily something like, my parents put on me or like my brothers put on me. It's more something I feel like I feel it just because I'm the oldest. And I feel like, people that are listening to this, if you're the oldest, you kind of have, you understand what I'm going through. But I have just like that motivation, like, because I'm the oldest, I need to, set an example, set that road first, like
Right.
my parents came from Korea, and they set that road that, we can, just because, we don't speak English, we can still succeed. But now I want to set the road that like, your older brothers doing this, you guys can for sure do this. You guys, like my younger brothers are way smarter than me. Yeah, and if I can succeed, I mean, 100%, I feel like they can succeed. So that's a really big motivating factor as well.
Yeah. Would you say that you guys also feel inspiration in some sense?
Yeah.
And do you think that that's different from motivation?
Inspiration. I feel like it ties together with motivation.
Okay.
Because you're inspired by this one person, that motivates you to maybe work on that same skill that he was doing, or like just kind of copying that same person.
Yeah.
But definitely, like if you see someone else that's succeeding out there, you also want to succeed for yourself. And that's why I feel like once inspiration goes up, your motivation goes up.
Yeah, I think it definitely does tie together. I feel like for inspiration, you can get inspired and then instantly that day I'm no longer inspired.
Yeah.
But then for motivation, it's like I need to continuously be motivated. Like if I'm inspired by, let's say, Kobe Bryant, I can go work on my dribbles for like a week, right? Like because I'm inspired by him. But if I'm not motivated for the whole year, I'm not going to continue that. And I think that's where the difference comes, where inspiration, you can get inspired all the time by many different things, but to continuously motivated, that's tough.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's harder to find inspiration as consistently as motivation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of leads me to my next question. What do you guys think of discipline? And how does that tie into the ideas of motivation
Just thinking about that.
and inspiration?
So honestly, just because we were talking about it, like how it's hard to keep your motivation, like that's when your discipline comes in. Like you need that discipline to keep going on with like your routine. And kind of like I've learned this through like having to manage with like time throughout like all my like experiences. So like if I were to like do full-time work and full-time school, and I would need to go to the gym like just to keep my body right, like you need that discipline to go every single time, like especially for the gym. Like working like school, like it's kind of like it's a given, like you have to go,
right.
But like going to the gym, like because I go after my shift, so I go work like 7 p.m 7 a.m and then go to the gym and then go to sleep.
Wow.
And I wake up and then go to work again. So it's kind of like you need that discipline because you're gonna tire yourself out,
right?
And you need that discipline and just keep going on with it, and it'll eventually become into a habit. You keep that routine. So I feel like discipline is where it starts, and then it becomes easier from there.
Yeah, but discipline is so hard, man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna admit it. Like I don't think I have the greatest discipline. Like I get sidetracked often. But I think it's something that everyone just needs to work on.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say that like everyone has discipline, but everyone has the ability to, make a discipline, to like make a set schedule and stuff like that. But it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it is hard to keep that discipline. Like you were saying, like going to the gym, man, it is the hardest to get out of my bed to go to the gym. Yeah. That is the hardest part.
The first step is getting there. Though.
It's the hardest. Man, it's so hard. But yeah, like discipline, I feel like some people might be better at it. And I don't think that should like, I don't think discipline should be compared. It's really just something that you need to do on your own.
Yeah.
And like you compare yourself with your discipline. Like, was I more disciplined, before, after, and stuff like that? If you try to compare with, other people, like, of course you're not going to be as disciplined, right? So yeah, it's a tough thing, but I think everyone can work on it, get better at it. Takes time and it takes effort.
Right.
I also feel like people have to know how much they can handle.
Right. Yes. You don't want to get burned out.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Right.
Like a bunch of nurses get burnt out, and for people like that don't know what like burning out means, like it's like for in the nursing facility care, like that type of setting, like you'll take care of like your terminally ill like family member, right? And then you take care of them for so long, like you're eventually gonna burn out, and like you're gonna start hating the fact that you have to take care of this person.
Right.
And that's when you start to burn out.
Yeah.
And that's where people kind of like find other alternatives for like people to take care of their family members. But yeah, you definitely need to know how much you can take in, because if you like, it can't just be self-discipline all the way.
Right,
like,
right.
You definitely have a limit. Other people have other limits.
Exactly.
Like, so like, just know how much you can take in, and it'll make it that much easier.
Because like in the beginning, you might be like, taking it a lot.
Yeah.
And because it's like, in the beginning, you can maybe take it. But, everyone's been through that phase where like, like even in school, like, I took too many AP classes.
Yeah.
I took too many classes or something. Like you need to find that like balance and, set that limit for you.
Yeah, you adjust.
Yeah, you adjust. And then as you keep working on it, maybe it'll get better, along the line. But, you don't want to get burned out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit curious about what you guys think is the difference between burnout and pushing your boundaries, because a lot of growth comes from being uncomfortable,
right,
in pushing past what you're comfortable with. Like say take the gym for example, like you're not used to pushing like a certain amount of weight, but if you continuously do it
Right.
and you push past it, then that's how you get stronger.
Mhm.
So how do you guys differentiate between the two?
So my personal experience, when I first got my job, it was a shit show, man. Like, it was so understaffed. You don't understand how understaffed in the like medical field is.
Mm.
Like I had 50 patients to myself.
Gosh.
Wow.
And
When you first started out.
when I first started out, and I was dying, dude. Every night,
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't stop working from like 7 p.m. until like 3 a.m. And then 5 a.m. I had to start something else. So it was
Wow.
like I was getting burnt out. Like I stuck through it for like months, and then until like more people got hired, and then my workload got easier, and we got better like systems
Mhm.
to do our documentation.
Mhm.
But at a certain point, I was like, should I really continue nursing? Like it was that hard. And I think once you start thinking about those type of thoughts and ideas, that's when you're burning out.
Mm.
When you're having all these negative thoughts that aren't good to yourself, that's when you're burning out. But before that, if you're just trying to tough it out, that's your uncomfortability, and that's where you're gonna grow. But at a certain point, you kind of need to stop, because even in the gym, if you go too heavy, you're gonna get hurt.
Right. Yeah, and I would say for burnout, like I think everyone feels it a little bit, and I think that's where discipline comes in. Where when you have the discipline to push through, that's when you can push through your boundaries. And I'm not gonna say that's the only time it happens where you're pushing your boundaries, but when you do burn out, I feel like your discipline of how you handle that situation. So like for example, if you burned out and you have no discipline, you might just say, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna quit. I'm just gonna do nothing. Go the complete opposite. But if you have a certain discipline to your life, after that burnout, you can maybe look back at yourself, like say, oh, what caused this burnout? What made me go to this direction? And you can learn more about yourself, and push boundaries that maybe that you think you're capable of. But I would say burnout usually happens when you're continuously doing the same thing over and over and over again. And then I think that it also becomes like mundane at one point, but also you might feel a sense of like, oh, like what am I doing? Why am I'm just doing the same thing over and over again? I think that's where I feel a lot of burnout for me personally. And yeah, so I think finding that discipline of trying to like, you know what, I can go through this. I think that's what will push my boundaries.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, because I always imagined burnout as something that simply like happened to you because you tried to take on too much. But it was always a very hard distinction for me between figuring out what my boundaries were and whether or not I was feeling burnout. Right. But the way that you guys put it helps me better identify.
Yeah, and I
make
think
more sense of it.
You yourself, like as a person, like you got to figure out that limit, that boundary, right? Like I think it's gonna be it's very healthy if you can recognize like, oh, I think I'm going towards a burnout. It's very healthy because then you can go back, you can retrack your steps and stuff, and if you can figure out like, oh, this will help me push my boundaries.
Yeah,
it's super healthy. I think that's like really healthy, and that's something a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah,
finding that like that balance. But yeah, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. I feel like everyone has such different experiences that like not one answer can just answer everything.
And it takes a certain level of like self-awareness, like recognizing, right? Because sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah,
you just don't know. Yeah,
and I said this before, but we're young. Like we're 22, 23.
Yeah,
like
we're still learning.
You don't know anything.
Yeah,
I sometimes feel like I know everything, but there's always incidents that remind me, oh, you don't know jack shit.
Yeah.
You're just a little boy. And yeah, like I think that's why I want to take this time when I'm young, when I can learn, when I have the energy, the resources to like really do everything that I want to do.
Mhm.
And like I feel like I felt that a lot when I was stuck at home, just like in front of my computer, playing games, just doing nothing. Like I was like, man, why am I wasting my youth? Like
Right.
this is something like money I can get back. Like everything else, but time I can never get that back.
Mhm.
Like working this insurance job, they're telling me time is your biggest financial asset because once you lose it, it's gone. It's gone forever. I mean, unless they make some like anti-aging pills in the future. But
Mhm.
yeah, like I was thinking like, why am I wasting my youthful time at home just playing games?
Yeah.
And it's fun, but yeah, I wanted to take that time when I'm young to really just do everything I want to do, like get out there in the world.
Mhm. Yeah. Speaking of our youth, what is one thing that you want to do but have not done yet?
I have a lot of things, man. A lot of things. I've been so confined
Mhm.
recently.
Mhm.
Like, I'm trying to travel, like, trying to go places and have fun. Definitely after this program, I'm not doing anything school related for a little bit.
Mhm. Taking a nice break.
Yeah, I get a nice break in. I'm gonna go to Hawaii with my family
Mm.
because they've also never gone,
Mhm.
Oh,
and
it's
I
beautiful.
haven't gone.
It's so nice. Oh my.
Not only Hawaii, I kind of want to go to like back to Korea one time,
Mm.
just to go back there again.
When's the last time you've been
Yeah.
to Korea?
I went there 8th grade to 9th grade summer.
Oh, so you haven't been in
Okay.
a while.
Yeah, it's been
Okay.
a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
you can have fun
I
now.
low-key hated it when I went there the first time because it was so hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, as soon as I step out the airport, a bead of sweat comes down my face. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Is it just me or is it just getting like action? Like it's like so hot these days. Like
It is.
just keeps getting hotter and
is.
hotter.
It's very hot this week. Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
said you want to go to Korea,
yeah, Korea, Japan,
Japan.
It's beautiful
go to,
as well.
like Europe.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to experience some stuff.
I mean, when I was younger, I played a lot of instruments, and man, I've been really feeling it these days. That God, I wish I just kept playing because
Mm.
I played the violin from when I was 5 to 10.
Mhm.
I don't remember a single thing from it. I can maybe play the strings, but like when I was 10, I was playing at a level where like it was decent.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you guys know the song "Flight of the Bumblebee," but I used to play that song.
Mhm.
I can't even play "Tinkle Tinkle Little Star," and I just been feeling it like, man, if I had just kept with it, like, wouldn't it be nice to just have that in my back pocket?
Yeah.
And that's what like I feel like these days I've been like rekindling those like especially for music, like I've been like playing the guitar again. Like I haven't opened my clarinet or saxophone, but I mean
Mhm.
if the chance ever arises, I just want to play again. Just get that back because like I was saying, time you can't get back.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, and I've been really feeling that like, God, I wish I had just kept like working a little harder, even for like school. Like, man, I wish I studied a little harder. And I remember my mom and my dad would always tell me, when you get older, you're gonna regret, doing this. You're gonna regret not doing this. And man, they're so right. They're so right.
Yeah.
I regret not studying harder in school. Yeah, like, man, I even wish like I talked to more girls in high school.
Mm.
Like, like those little things. But man, as I grow older, and I'm pretty sure once like we turn 30, like
Mhm.
there's gonna be we're gonna say the same thing. Man, I wish I did this in my 20s.
In our 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we turn 40, man, I wish I did this in my 30s. But like, yeah, I've been really feeling that I missed out a lot.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like I also went through so much,
Yeah.
and like without those experiences, like I wouldn't be
Who
here
you
or
are
who
today.
I am right now.
Right.
But yeah, I do regret a lot of things.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish I continued with Taekwondo.
Right.
Like I was a black belt back then.
Mm.
Exactly.
Now I can't even like spread my I can't even spread my legs like this, bro.
Yeah, I used to do Taekwondo too. Like when I was younger, I think I also got black belt. But like, man, if I had that right now, like
Mm.
that'd be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be so fun to just go in like once a week to Taekwondo and spar. Like
Yeah,
that sounds so
exactly.
fun. But now I can't.
Yeah, like-
I don't know anything
my
about it. anymore.
flexibility, like I feel like I was like the most fit while I was doing Taekwondo, and that's
Mm.
like when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like even now, like me going to the gym and everything, like of course I'm gonna be stronger than when I was as a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
But like my mobility and like my flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
I missed it, dude. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been thinking like sometimes like, you know, when you like trip, you can catch yourself, right? Because
Yeah.
we're young. But I've been thinking like, man, when I turn 30, am I gonna be able to catch myself? Like, I don't think I can. I might just fall.
At
Dude,
30?
yeah, like,
Okay, probably not 30.
Probably not 30.
We're still young.
Yeah.
But, maybe like 40. When I turn 40.
I don't know about
think
that.
that's the
we're
difference?
still
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
We're still old. Like, I now realize that I have to like actually stretch before like anything, bro. Like, I
Yeah.
used to not stretch before basketball, working out ever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then now, like,
If you
like,
don't, you
after I
cramp
hurt my
up.
shoulder, bro, like, it was so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Like, I have to start stretching every time, dude.
Mhm. Yeah, when you guys mentioned your regrets, that's actually kind of the motivating factor behind my question.
Mm.
So I'm wondering, like, what is it that you want to do now
Mhm.
that you're holding back on that you're gonna regret not doing when you turn older?
I feel like I've done most things that I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
I kind of just wanted to get out there more and like talk to more people.
Yeah.
Just because earlier on in my lifetime, like I wasn't always like I didn't like talking to people like that.
Yeah, like
Like,
random
I'd rather
strangers.
just like do like activities with them or like
Uh-huh.
spend like physical activities with them rather than like talk to them
Yeah.
like one on one. Like that just wasn't my forte. But nowadays, like I have to like network a lot, like for like different jobs that I want to have, or like getting more information on a certain topic that I'm interested in.
Hmm.
So like you kind of like force yourself to like talk to these people, like even if like I wouldn't like just go up to them and be like, oh wait, hey, can you hire me? Like no, it wasn't like that. It was just like
Uh-huh.
you kind of have to like get to know them first, too,
Connect.
and, like,
Of course,
actually
of
connect
course.
with them so they'll remember you. And I feel like that was a really hard challenge for me coming into the nursing program,
Mm.
just because during nursing you have to talk to a lot of people, you have to talk to patients, doctor, family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it kind of broke me out of my comfort zone, like forcibly.
Mm.
So like I feel like nursing really helped me like a lot in my
Mhm.
life, but it also stressed me out a lot too. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it has its pros and cons.
Yeah, I mean, something that I want to do, like if I could do anything, right? I think I want to make music. I think I want to, I don't know what kind of music it is, but like, I think I want to, just make music. I feel like that would be really fun, like, as like a cool hobby.
Yeah.
I was like looking at Logic Pro, which is like a program to like make beats and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I was like, man, I feel like this would be a cool hobby. But I
Yeah.
feel like something was just holding me back. I feel like I don't know. Like I mean, it was also like $200 for the program.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to spend that much for a hobby.
Like one-time payment.
Yeah, one-time payment, you have it forever. But it's not bad. But like,
200.
do I want to spend that for a
Yeah.
hobby? Maybe. But yeah, like when you brought up that question, like if I had to choose, I think making some songs would be cool. Like, because a lot of our friends are also musically talented, and like
Mhm.
I feel like making a song with our friends would be so funny, and it'd be a fun experience.
It'd be so fun.
Right?
Yeah.
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 Like, or even like just like our good friend Chris, he does a lot of those vlogs when we go out. Right?
Yeah.
Like something like that would also be fun. Like I love those kind of videos, and like just
Mhm.
getting out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like our group could do like a low-key like a NPR type video.
Oh, like a whole like a concert vibe. Yeah. No, we have so many friends that know how to play instruments, and like I feel like it'd be such a cool little project,
Mhm.
and like
Yeah.
of course we would have to, like we want to be good at it, so we're gonna have to practice, right? I feel like that would also get everyone out of their comfort zone, like kind of take their mind off of stuff that they're thinking of right now, like especially if this like I don't know if it's not good, like I feel like it'll help like a lot of people just like take their mind off of something real quick.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm wondering, like, if you regretted not continuing music in the past,
Mhm.
what's holding you back from starting it again right now?
I think it's like I think something in the back of my head saying like this is not like I it's so bad, but I look at everything like financially, right? And so like I think I can do it as a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I wouldn't even like really, be working towards that like fully. And that's I want to do it fully, but I feel like I think something in the back of my head is saying like, this is not good for you. This is not going to help you at all. But I think also a little thing about music, like I think continuously practicing every day, like when I was playing the clarinet saxophone, like that made me hate music. It made me not want to play anymore. Like, and I know every Korean out there that play piano will understand this, but practicing like every day and then going to your teacher and then like you practice and you mess up and then they like yell at you, man, doing that was not fun at that time.
Yeah.
And of course I was young. I feel like now I'll take it better. But man, I dreaded going to the Friday practices.
Yeah.
I hated it. But yeah, I feel like that was one reason. But if I could, I feel like I would love to do music again.
Yeah.
Because certain parts of it are really fun.
I feel like you don't really have to go through that as a adult.
Although,
now.
yeah.
Like,
If you
no one's gonna yell at you like that. Like,
Yeah, I think there's a very big difference between being forced to practice piano
Right.
versus doing it on your own
to.
because you
Right,
want to.
Right.
Yeah, choosing to do it as a hobby.
Yeah, and I
Right?
think that also relates to like how like Isaac was saying, like now that like he's like paying for his school, like it's a bit easier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't forced, but it was more like I have to do
Yeah,
this.
there was a
much on the
pressure.
line.
Yeah, I
There's
have to
pressure.
do those. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And like when you choose to do something, I think my friend Shang Wei, he was also on the podcast before. He was saying like I was talking to about like therapy and stuff like that, and I was telling him like when I was a kid, I went to therapy because like it's a long story, but I was talking to one of my friends at school and saying like, oh yeah, we're joking. I was saying like, oh yeah, my dad used to beat me with a golf club. And then the teacher overheard that, told the secret, like the social services or whatever it is.
Wow.
And then they're like saying like, oh, you need to get a therapist. And then I remember at that time, because it was free from the government, right? Like I didn't really I don't think I like used the therapy like correctly. I think it was more like I have to do it because like the
'Cause you were
services
forced
people
to.
were telling me, right?
Yeah.
But then Josh Shang was saying like now when you pay for it, when it's your own money, it's like it's like you're more inclined to do it because why waste your money and time,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm not gonna get that back. Like
Yeah.
if I'm putting money in, I might as well get the most of it from I can. And so I feel like when you choose to do something on your own, it's way stronger than when you're forced.
Oh,
Way
100%.
stronger.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny that you talked about piano because I also used to do piano as a child and I was forced to do it, so I hated it. But I don't remember anything. I don't remember any piano. But what's funny is that recently I actually picked up the piano again. I started taking lessons and I'm practicing again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long has
And-
it been since you did lessons now?
January, so
okay, so-
six months. Yeah. Yeah, and
Oh, wow.
I'm enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it so much more.
Do you see an improvement from I guess January and now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
Is it like
100%.
more like you're learning again, or is everything coming back?
I'm learning again,
Learning
like from
again,
fresh.
okay.
Like I don't remember anything.
Are you learning off of like YouTube or?
No, I'm taking lessons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you going to the same place, Urban?
No.
Is it like near LA?
Yeah, it's in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I think Servant
But-
is such an inspiration on like music, bro.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
he started from like nothing,
Right.
And then
Mhm.
now he's like super good.
yeah. And Servant was part of the inspiration for me to start.
Right. Yeah.
Because like I heard him play, I know it's just beautiful, and it got me into piano again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny. I was saying every Korean knows it. Everyone Korean
Mhm.
has played the
They've
violin or
touched it.
piano. Or
They've
Yeah.
one
touched
of
it
them.
at least once.
Yeah, you had to have. So shifting topics a little bit here, I kind of want to talk about your experiences growing up as a Korean American. So first, do you guys identify as a Korean American?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that you're more American than Korean or the other way around?
I'm more American than Korean.
More
for
American.
sure.
Yeah. I think I think culturally
Mhm.
we're a bit more American because
Mm.
we grew up here. It's the
Right.
culture I grew up with, but I mean, what I identify as is
Mhm.
Korean, of course. You know, like
Yeah.
my identity is Korean, but my culture I think is more
Mhm.
American. Like
Right.
there's certain things like that us Korean Americans do that
Mhm.
like Koreans in Korea would never do. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's just a different culture like from Korea and America, and I think that's the difference where Korean Americans have a more American culture.
Right. Right. Do you guys appreciate the American or the Korean American culture that we have more than you think you would like strictly American or strictly Korean culture? Because this is a very specific culture that we've grown up in.
Yeah.
Like as Koreans living in America, we grew up with a very specific set of
Yeah.
cultural conditions. But like, have you guys experienced like strictly American and strictly Korean cultures themselves? And like, how does that compare? Do you guys think?
This is kind of tough just because like, well, for like Korean wise,
Mhm.
like I've definitely like gone through like the traditions of Korean culture like in my own family,
Yeah.
but I feel like I haven't experienced Korea like actually in Korea enough
Right.
to know like the full culture of it.
Okay.
I feel like American wise, like I kind of know the culture, like I've lived here my entire life, and I like American culture. Like
hmm
there's a bunch of opportunity, like it's more free, more diverse. But Korea, I feel like it's more strict. Like they want you like in a certain spot, like at a certain time. Like it's less free than you would have it in America.
Right.
Like America, like you could go to college, you could not go to college, and you would still succeed in life. In
Mhm.
Korea, I feel like it's more school based. Like,
Mm.
Definitely.
so
Yeah, I feel like for American culture, everyone knows this ba 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 bum bum ba bum ba bum. That sound, the ice cream truck is here. I think that's like an American culture that like is specific culture to me. Like where like whenever I would get dropped off at the bus stop after
Mhm.
school, there's always the elote man.
Yeah.
You know, there's always the guy that's selling the those chips that they put
Lime and-
Yeah.
Always. And
Oh.
I remember like it used to be $1. Right now it's like $10.
$5.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
but yeah, that's like I feel like that's like a I don't know if it's American, but it's more of a like a culture that I grew up with when I was younger. And like for Korean, I would say like tebe, you know, when you're doing like for Chuseok, when you're like doing your bows, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get like a little yongdo, like a little pocket money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like those kind of stuff are you know, culture like specific to Koreans.
Mhm.
And like I feel like rarely do they mix, but when they mix, it's I love it. Like
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving, like Koreans, we have a Thanksgiving. It's called Chuseok, but
Mhm.
we don't eat turkey.
No.
We eat what is that? Tteokguk.
Yeah.
Right? But then because my family grew up in America, we do a little mixture. We eat KFC. On Thanksgiving, so it's,
Okay.
it's still like a gathering, but it's not like a real traditional, you know, American Thanksgiving. And I feel like, you know, when they mix, it's so fun. I love it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that Korean American culture too. I love it.
Yeah. It puts a very special twist.
Right.
A very special
It's a
and
little
unique.
different.
Yeah.
You know what I hated though? You know, like back then for New Year's, you had to like dress up in hanbok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, fucking hated that shit. Dude, every time I would have to go to like fucking like church or something,
Dude, yeah.
everyone's in fucking normal clothes, and here I am fucking like pink silky pants.
Well, that's
Like,
also because you're the your dad's the pastor too. I feel like you have to be a little.
no, I
fancy.
feel like it didn't matter. Like, dude, why the fuck do I have to wear this shit? Like,
No, and also like for New Year's, that reminded me like I would always go to church for New Year's.
yeah.
But
Me
then like
too.
my friends, like they would be having going to a party, you know, like a New Year's party, but like I'll be at church. Now, dude, the memory that I have is that the head pastor would never match the time correctly. His sermon would go too far, so it would be like 12:01, and he's like, "Oh, let's count down." It's already 12:03, and we're counting down. That happens every year, and then it's so fun. But yeah, Korean American culture, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the one thing I don't like is the Korean American culture in churches.
Mm.
I feel like
What about
Korean
them?
American churches like are very cliquey. I mean, I don't know if you've been to like big Korean American churches, but
Mm-hmm.
man, they're so cliquey. Like if you don't know a certain group, like it's so hard for them to accept you into their group. And I feel like I felt that a lot, like in like bigger churches.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I don't know if I really like the Korean American church.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I don't.
I
really,
think just big churches in general have
yeah, you
cliques.
think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Just because like I've been to small churches
Uh-huh.
and like because you're such a small group.
you know, actually, you're right.
Yeah, like you know everybody. If you're in a big church, like you're not gonna go out of your way to meet everybody in that church. Like,
Right.
No, you're right. Because I also went to a small church. So I went to a big church first, and then I went to a small church. But in the small church, I knew everyone because there's so little people.
yeah,
In the big church, I don't know everyone.
yeah, exactly. So you're gonna stick with that small group that you already know.
All right. So how would you navigate like these cliques? Like if let's say you were a new person to the church, what would you do? Like how would you
Well, that's why I feel like big churches should really have a welcoming program so that newcomers can come in and feel welcome when they do come.
Mm-hmm.
So like instead of like just having a service and like letting know everyone that you're there, like actively introduce them to everybody and like have them like be in a group together and like
Right.
Mm-hmm.
actually spend time with one another so that he can actually get plugged in.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of hard because most of the times in like big churches, these friend groups have been friends since they were a kid, right?
Yeah.
It's like I've known you since I was in like elementary. We went to church together through elementary, middle school, high school.
Yeah.
And then it's like a new person trying to join a friend group. It's kind of tough, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know much about that person. Like he doesn't know much about you.
Yeah.
And so like that's where the little like it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you're younger, like if you came in when you're in middle school, I feel like it's easier. 'Cause
Yeah.
when you're a kid, it's like
Definitely.
everyone loves each other. You know?
Yeah.
Like no one
Yeah.
hates each other. But like once you start getting older, you kind of get like comfortable with like the friend group you already have.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to like introduce new friend groups to that. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that was very interesting to me, or at least something that I kind of felt was very different about my experience growing up
Mhm.
was, so I never really went to church. So I always knew that like especially my Korean friends that went to church, they would always talk about like their church friends. So I always felt like there's always a community of church friends,
Yeah.
right? Which I was never a part of, which I never experienced.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like how influential or how big of an impact or influence is that community, that church community?
So honestly, my church friends are like Josh, Eugene, Sean Ree. Like these are the people that I've known since like preschool, kindergarten.
Yeah.
And these people have a big impact on my life. Like
Mm-hmm.
like Chu Young was one of my first church friends, like ever. And then Josh was like my second.
Yeah.
And like the amount of influence that they have on me is insane. Like if they were to not like something,
Mhm.
like, oh, do I really like that? Like these people have been with me like for the longest time ever.
Yeah.
So I feel like just because I've been able to spend so much time with them, and yeah, it's like David and you. Like I spent so much time with you guys recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys are influencing my life. It's kind of like you surround yourself with like who you are,
Mhm.
and each one of you guys is kind of like a part of me. So kind of goes back to the first question, like what is your story? Like my story is my friends. Like you look at my friends and that's my story.
I like that. For sure, when I was younger, when I used to go to church, it's so funny, but I see those friends once a week, right?
Yeah.
Because it's only on Sunday. But for some reason, I was so close to them. Like it was so weird. Like I still have my school friends that are really close with, right? Like they're my best friends, but for some reason, like every Sunday, there was like a couple friends that I just like really clicked with.
Yeah.
Like we're just really close. Like even though we only meet once a week, like I felt like it was different. It wasn't a once a week meeting. Like I've known him for so much longer. But yeah, and I think it goes back to because I grew up with him every Sunday going to the same, like we went to, the same, it was called Gem 1 for elementary or middle school. We went to Awana together, which is like a Friday
I went to Awana
event. Yeah, it's like a Friday event that the church does. Like, since we did so many things together, like I think you build that trust. And I think it also like usually church friends aren't going to be bad people,
Yeah.
They're going to be good people. So like I think that's that trust builds. Yeah.
And I also feel like since you're in like that church setting, like, you're also a lot more vulnerable to the people around you.
Right.
Like, in a church setting, like maybe on like a serious day, like you talk about things that you normally wouldn't talk about to other people in your normal lives. And I feel like those conversations really help us get closer to each other and really know what's going on with one another. And that, to me, that really creates the bond. Like going through that vulnerable experience, like crying in front of each other, like you're not gonna do that from like a school friend. So it's like I feel like it's those type of experiences at a church setting that really makes those church friends closer.
And I think what's really special about like Isaac and like so Isaac's church friends, like they're basically our school friends too, right? I think it's special that like church and school friends became the one thing.
They merged.
Like, even stronger. I still talk to the same friends from high school. We still talk to each other, and like that's honestly it's kind of unheard of. Like what I hear is that like once you go to college, you don't talk to your old friends anymore, right? And then like once you guys start working, like you find new friends, but like man, how many years has it been since we've been friends? It's been too many years. Like we were still friends after high school, like during college, and I think it's a special bond we have with our friends. It's very unique.
And honestly, I kind of like to like any other friends that I make, like maybe like school friends from like nursing program or like work friends, like they're all compared to you guys. Like, do I fuck with this group as much as I fuck with you guys? Like, like it's just not comparable.
You just end up comparing.
It's not comparable.
Not comparable.
Like,
you're saying,
nothing really matches my personal main group.
Yeah, nothing can. I don't think it, like if I had to replace my friend group, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, like I have a hard time talking to people. Number one. But yeah, like just the friendships that like just what we went through as kids, like I can't get that back, and I'm not gonna be able to do that with anyone else. Like for example, like man, like when we used to go to McDonald's and we were just like baked out of our minds, like trying to choose what we're gonna order, like that kind of memory I'm never getting back. I'm so glad I had it with my friends, and I'm so glad that we're still friends together, because like what Isaac was saying, like I don't know what I'll do without you guys, and I think I definitely keep myself accountable, but it always helps to have your friends always keeping you accountable. I think our friends did that really well.
Yeah, I'm not saying like expanding your friend group isn't bad.
Right.
It's just a certain level to like friendships.
Right.
Like, I have like you guys are like top tier, like in friendship. And, like work and school come later. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It's hard to reach that level of relationship I have with like you. With like a new person. Like it took years and years and years of being friends for that to come, and like it's too hard to like do that with someone else, unless it's a girl.
I mean that's different. That's different. Yeah.
It's different, but like I feel like to make friends, like man, it's gonna be so hard to find that same connection again. I feel like
it takes time.
Yeah, I feel like I can understand my friends, and I feel like it'd be hard to do that with other people.
Right. On the topic of friendship, what qualities do you think makes a good friend?
What qualities?
I mean, honest. As long as you're honest, right?
Honesty.
I hate dishonest people. Like, and I feel like as friends, like there are certain things. I feel like with everything, there are certain things that like no, you might want to keep to yourself. But like I really feel like with my friends, I can be myself.
Mm.
I can open up and I would feel no judgment.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like that like the confidence that I have in that trust is really important, because that kind of trust I can only have with my family.
Yeah.
But the fact that I can extend that to my friends is like, oh, my friends are my family, right?
Yeah.
Like that saying. And I feel like, yeah, I can only extend that to, you know, someone that I can call a friend, you know, or, you know, like my girlfriend or wife or whatever. But yeah, those kind of things are hard to come by. And it's hard to come by honest people too. And I feel like, you know, being honest is really one thing. Yeah, I mean, what else would you say?
I feel like reliability. Like if you're in a tough spot,
Right.
Yeah.
like who's gonna come to your
Right.
rescue, your help?
Yeah.
Like the people that come to help you, you remember them the most.
Mm.
Right.
And it's because throughout the time, like throughout those many years of being friends, like there's so many opportunities for those people to come and help you throughout your different situations that you've been through.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's what makes a friend. Like you go through all these different experiences, you help each other out, and you look out for each other's backs, and that's what makes a good friendship.
Mm.
And
I feel like sometimes like I don't want to be that friend where like I think this is personally for me, like I don't want to like have to burden anyone else, and I think it's something I definitely have to work on, where like I think I'm just so like distrusting. I don't know if it's distrusting, but like it's hard for me to like burden
Ask for
someone
help.
else with my own problems.
Right.
And I've definitely had a couple talks with my friends about this. Like I work on it, but it's hard because like I would rather burden myself with a problem I have, you know, by myself than have to, you know, open up to friends. But I've been learning that like, you know, it's not a burden.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not a burden that like it's truly a friend trying to help me in need, right? And it's like I need to recognize that like it's not me putting a burden, it's more like them just wanting to help me. That's it.
yeah, like,
And
if anything, it's a pleasure to help your friend.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely been working on that, just trying to be more open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And ask
I
for
already know
help.
I have a hard time being emotional. Like that's just my dad's a very like stoic person. I think that definitely came to me. Like, and so yeah, I've been working on trying to just be more open, like reconnect. Yeah, just be in that moment.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't even think until like recently I've been able to like really express how I feel.
Yeah, me too.
Like even back then, like it was so hard for me to talk
Right.
about like deep feelings.
And I feel like I also like sometimes like I felt like I couldn't recognize if someone was calling out for help. And I feel like sometimes like because we were so young, so like so dumb, like we're like we can't recognize that like, oh, someone's crying for help, someone needs my help.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm trying to work on that as well. Just because, you know, like I feel like these friends, I'm gonna have you guys forever.
Yeah.
And so like I want to be there. I want to be that friend to be there, you know?
Yeah.
So I've been trying to work on that for sure.
Yeah. Touching back on when you said that you felt like it was a burden to ask for help, one way that I heard that you could try to interpret it, which I found really interesting, was that people actually, like Isaac said, people enjoy helping others. Like that's one of the best pleasures that people can experience, like a contribution to society, right?
Right.
And if you think about it, you not asking for help when someone else can give you that help is you depriving them of the joy from helping you, right?
Yeah,
like
I
if
feel
you
that.
think about it that way, yeah, like
Yeah, I feel that, and like I agree that like I feel like I think my mindset is that like because the reason I don't want to ask is because I feel like that person doesn't want to be bothered with it, right? But it's the total opposite. It's like, that person does want to help, and like I shouldn't feel burdened to like, you know, ask for help.
Yeah.
But then once, you know, if it's like help like every other day, then that's when then it becomes a little too much, right? It becomes an issue. That's when you have to start thinking. But like I feel like I just have such a like extreme negative mindset that like I'm already thinking like, damn, like I don't think this person wants to even like deal with this.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I feel that like I feel like some people definitely do feel get joy from helping other people, and like I think it's great. It adds to your relationship if you can open up.
100%.
Adds a layer to your relationship. For sure.
Yeah. There's something with like males and vulnerability, and how like in our society, just like as we grow up, as men, like growing up, we're left with the idea that vulnerability equals weakness.
Right.
But it's just really not the case.
And I feel like
the more you learn,
a lot of guys don't have the infrastructure to deal with the vulnerability.
Right.
And like so, like most of our responses are to put it aside. It, right. And like I feel like I think especially in this society, like I feel like 40 years back when our parents were getting married, the guy had to provide for the family. That's basically all he had to do, and then the wife would basically take care of everything else. But like I feel like now in this society, women are so much more like advanced now. They can make their own money. They don't need a guy to be making money, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like guys need to offer up more to the relationship than just putting food on the table. But then what happens is that we don't have that infrastructure to really, know our emotions, know our vulnerability. And so it's hard for guys to really offer up that emotional side in a relationship, I feel like. Like, especially in this society. Like back then, I feel like, like, for example, like my dad, like, I feel like his objective is to just feed my family and that's it. I feel like I don't see any like emotional, like, relationship happening between my mom and dad. And of course, I mean, it's been like 20 years since they got married, right? So it might have, went down a little bit, but I feel like nowadays, like in this society, like men have to definitely be more in tune with their emotional side.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, for
100%.
sure.
I just feel like girls kind of expect that type of emotional
They expect
support
more
too,
now. I mean, it's been like so many years since, like the past, and so like they expect more.
They want you to expect to know how they're feeling.
Right.
And that's when you have to kind of like turn on the fucking problem solver.
Yeah. It's complicated. Like right now, it's very complicated.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
I think girls are just complicated. But
yeah.
Girls are just hard to.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're hard. Everyone's different. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like at one time I feel like it's going good, and all of a sudden like I did a mistake.
Yeah, and then no reply.
Like, dang, what did I do? But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure girls are gonna say guys are harder. And I probably agree. I think guys are also kind of hard to deal with. It's hard, man.
Yeah. We're just very different. Very different. Yeah. What are you guys learning right now?
Learning?
Yeah. What are you in the process of learning?
Well, I just took my final for medical surgical.
Nice.
Ooh,
do you know if you passed or no?
I passed.
Let's go.
And then I have my final coming up for pharmacology, but I'm not even tripping on that.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass anyway.
So I like to hear.
Basically, what med-surg and pharmacology is. So med-surg is like you're learning different diseases of like the different body systems. So like respiratory would be like COPD, asthma, like things like that. Like you learn the pathophysiology of that disease. You know what type of symptoms you can get from those disease. Diagnostics tests to help you determine that disease, and nursing actions you want to take to treat that disease. So that's all of med-surg. Like you just need to know that for every disease, for every system.
I'm glad I did not do that. I did not understand a single word. Pathologies. I'm glad.
So the pathophysiology is kind of like how the disease works. Like what is this disease? And then pharmacology is more of like the medication side. That's more of like memorization. Like you need to know the name of the drug, know the side effects, know the different interactions it could have. You gotta know the different precautions you need to take for certain things, for certain drugs.
Mm.
So it's like
Wow.
everything. It's just all memorization for farm.
Yeah.
I feel like med surg is more concept based. As long as you know how the body works,
Mhm.
you can kind of generally tell, like what disease, this person has, and then once you know what disease this person has, you kind of know, oh, what kind of symptoms are they gonna have? Like
Right.
for example, like your urinary system. Like if you're to have like a infection down there, like you're gonna have like blood in your urine, like things that pertain to the urinary system manifestations.
Mhm.
So you kind of like connect everything together in a sense. So
Yeah.
it makes easier for med surg. But farm is kind of like more memorization. It's just I'm having an easier time with it because I'm already an LVN
Yeah.
and I've been passing those medications. Like
Right.
I'm already used to those
Mhm.
names and everything. So yeah.
You
Right.
got that in-person experience.
Yeah, it's-
Right.
Dude, without the medical experience I've had,
Too tough.
it'd be really tough right now.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if I took the RN program instead of the LVN program back then,
It'd be even
it'd
easier.
be easier.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Because I had so much time to study as an LVN. Like I wasn't working.
Oh,
was
right. Now you're
strictly
working
school.
and studying.
Yeah, it was strictly
Right,
school.
right.
So now it's like, shit. Dude, it was kind of tough just because I'd work and go to school 6 days out of the week, and then I have one day like to myself.
Yeah.
That's
and
tough,
then
man.
that day is spent like doing like chores at the house, like cleaning the house because I haven't cleaned it all week.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you've been
Yeah.
at school.
Yeah, at school or at work.
Work.
And then, yeah, it was just very tough. And okay, that's why I was like losing my motivation,
Mm.
just because like it's that same repetition every
Right,
day.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think what helps with like finding that motivation, maybe like finding a hobby, like you were saying, like maybe find a hobby to do, and
Mhm.
you know, who knows, maybe it'll motivate you. I don't know, who knows, but I feel like sometimes we get preoccupied with like what we're doing at this current
Yeah.
moment that like sometimes we do need that distraction,
Yeah.
and it'll help you like, you know, oh, okay, let me get out of this hole real quick, and then I feel like it gets easier after that.
Mhm.
Gym was my distraction.
Gym, yeah. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's most of the times most people go to the gym for that.
Yeah, because
Like,
it's so easy.
Of
Like,
course, there are the people that want to get big, better, fit and stuff. But I feel like a lot of times people use gym as like a coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yourself, David? What are you learning?
For me, I mean, the obvious answer, right, is at my work. I mean, I just started, so I'm learning about financial security. I'm learning about like, I think right now the infinite banking system, like how people are talking about they want infinite banking, because like the banks are closing down, right?
Mhm.
And so they want a source of income where like it's infinite, so like investments and stuff like that. Because technically it's not infinite, but it'll grow, it'll keep growing. So younger people are wanting some type of banking like that,
Mhm.
and insurance policies actually can grant that for you for like, for example, like whole life insurance policies. It insures you for your whole life, but it grows your cash value. So every time you put in money, it grows it continuously, and it becomes tax free. Cash value becomes tax free. So I mean, I'm learning that, but I feel like for myself, I'm learning more about myself these days. And I feel like a friend that helped me kind of realize this is my good friend Alex. Like he really helped me like open up my eyes, and like I think like, oh man, maybe I should try connecting more, opening up more, and like I'm not gonna get this time back. So I've been trying to learn more about myself, learn what I like, what I don't like, because I feel like before this, like I kind of did what my parents wanted me to do,
Right.
and like I kind of did it because my parents were on my back, right? And I was like, I got to do this to show something, right? But like now it's more like I want to do things that I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to find out what I don't like,
Yeah.
and not necessarily not do the stuff I don't like, but like be uncomfortable with it, but try to find change and growth in it.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Find how I can grow in that specific place where I'm comfortable in. I think that's really important. So yeah, I've been learning, just trying to learn about myself, learn about my friends. I've been learning I guess another thing I've been learning how to build a PC because I recently bought parts for a PC. That's very hard. One of my friends is gonna help me with that, but without him, I would know nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole project. Yeah, it's a whole project.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. In terms of self-discovery, like what are you doing in terms of trying to discover more of yourself?
Just looking back at like how I acted with people when I was younger.
Like self-reflection.
And then just like seeing what I can do to not be different, but maybe like, you know, not be the same person. Like I don't want to be like the exact same person I was in high school. I of course want growth, but I want it in a good way.
Right.
And yeah, just learning. I think reconnecting with people that I haven't talked to in a while really helped me. For sure, just like, you know, I think now that I'm like more so like, you know, doing what I want now and going forward in life, I think I have like more opportunities to hang out with my friends, and that really helped me too. I feel like, man, I was so stuck in a bubble at one point because I was just stuck at home, not hanging out with anyone. You know, like I was broke. Yeah. I was doing nothing. So like I just, you know, I was just stuck at home, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like now that like the opportunity is here, because I'm working and stuff like that. Like now I can go hang out with my friends, and it's fun now. You know?
Yeah.
And I definitely miss that because, you know, we used to hang out every day. Every day. He would pick me up. And then he'll drop me off. We would hang out from like after school. Yeah, in the morning till night.
Till fucking like 2 a.m.
I mean, this reminds me of a crazy time. I remember me and Isaac were hanging out, and then he was gonna drop me off, right? So he pulled up to the side of to my side gate, and I always hopped the gate because I never had the key. And I forgot what we were doing, but I had hopped the gate, and I looked over to say bye to Isaac. I see this guy just knocked out. He's knocked out the driver's seat. I opened the door. I said, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and he was so tired that like he forgot he had dropped me off. He thought he was
I had literally just dropped him off. And, like he was like just hopping over, and I just go, and just knock out right there. And then all I hear is, dude, Isaac, wake up.
Yeah, that was another time. I remember. Man, I went to a party before, like it was a club party, a Japanese party, and man, I got way too drunk that night, way too drunk, and I basically threw up all over myself. I was gone. Wow. And I remember like they called one of our other friends because apparently I wasn't drinking water. Like they were trying to feed me water, and I was like saying no, and so they called one of our friends that was on a date at that time.
What?
And so like his name is Josh, and he was like, Josh, can you help us? Like David is fucked up right now.
Yeah.
And so he left the day early, and the moment he arrived, he's like, did you guys give him water? And they're like, we tried, right? He's like, no, give me the bottle. And he shoved it down my throat. The moment I drank the water, I woke up. I was like, oh my God, I feel better.
No, it didn't go like that. Dude, I was trying to get him up, right? And then like Josh and everybody were like kind of like trying to get him up.
Yeah.
And at one point, like this is after like the whole night. This is the end of the night.
Everyone's tired.
I was so irritated, like so frustrated at a certain point.
Yeah.
I was like, David, get the fuck up. You're at home right now. Just go home. He got up.
And he got up?
Started walking. Dude, man, so funny.
That's all he needed to hear.
Yeah, that's what I needed. Motivation to get my ass up.
Because I had to go home too. I was like,
I was tired. Everyone was tired. Man, that was a crazy night.
Yeah, dude, we had to carry him. There was like fucking 5 heads. Like out of the party, carrying him out of the party, bro. Like,
just like I mean, at that time I was probably like, was that college?
That was.
Oh, so I was probably like 250
something.
Yeah, 2 something. But imagine just
it's dead weight.
Yeah. Like that was tough, probably.
Wow, that must have been a wild night.
Yeah,
a wild night.
Oh God. Because me and Yuga are like just chilling in the living room, playing games, drunk as fuck, and then all we hear is somebody else say, I think your friend's fucked up. We go check. David's just on the floor.
Just knocked out.
White shirt too. And they had some like strawberry.
It was like a jungle juice.
Yeah, jungle juice was red. My whole whole shirt was red. It was a white shirt and just all
What?
red. It was, man, that was bad. That was bad.
Oh, God.
What a night.
Wow.
Yeah, what a night.
Sounds like good memories.
Yeah.
Really good memories.
Yeah, those memories, you just can't replace that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking till I get fucked up like that again.
Right.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay. Last question before we end off here. What are you struggling with?
What am I struggling with? Oh. So right now, it'd honestly be like financially. Just because like recently I've had to spend a lot of money. Like especially on my car. Like I had to drop like $1,200 on my car just to fix it.
Yeah.
And then like I still had like my monthly payments for school going out and then my rent going out.
Mm.
And then I had like a wedding to go to and people's birthdays coming up.
Mm.
Yeah.
So like it's
Oh,
just
man,
a lot
wedding
of
is
money
probably
just on
hella
like
expensive, huh?
it's like it's just a lot of money like on extra things,
Yeah.
not like the essential things. So like it's just kind of tough because I was trying to save for like later down the line for school
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle going to full-time work and full-time school when it gets harder.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my struggle right now, just because I wasn't expecting my car to fucking break down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to spend like a whole month's worth of rent on my car.
Wow.
So I just kind of had to like build up again, and then like I took money out of my stocks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I kind of had to like build up to what I had before.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, like right now, like I'm still like able to like buy shit and like
Right.
eat.
Yeah.
You can sustain yourself right
I
now.
can still sustain myself, but I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck.
You're right. Yeah, I mean that reminds me. Insurance policies like those are the times where you don't have to take money out of your stocks and you take it out of your cash value. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, like I think I'm also the same with you where I feel like financially like I want to set myself up for the future, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's a struggle because my industry is the sales industry,
Right.
and so without sales, no money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think that's a struggle. I for sure am also struggling with keeping a schedule.
Mm.
I feel like I've been waking up at like random times, sleeping at random times.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've always struggled with like keeping a schedule, and I feel like it's really necessary now. But it's been hard to find and make a good schedule.
Yeah.
I've also been struggling with I feel like I've also wanted to, lose weight, go to the gym a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. Maybe I need like a strong factor. I don't want to say that because I don't want like it to go too crazy, right? But yeah, I feel like I want to find a motivation to work out.
Yeah. In terms of financial, what are you guys doing, or what are you guys planning to address this? Like how are you gonna go about addressing this need in the future?
So financially, like right now, I kind of have it like calculated with like my pay.
Mm-hmm.
So probably every 2 weeks we make like 1,600, 1,700,
Mm-hmm.
and every 2 weeks I kind of get like a $1,200 payment go out.
Mm.
So it's like that minus whatever goes out.
Mm-hmm.
So my school and my rent come first. So once that goes out, whatever's left is whatever I use for that 2 weeks until my next paycheck.
So you're not saving anything though right now, huh?
As of right now, no. But before it would be like I get like maybe I worked a holiday or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And my paycheck's like in the 2000s then.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have like 1,200 out from my school payment or my rent, and then the rest 800 is gas, groceries, and it's not like I need a lot. Like I need like $35 for gas because I have a Prius, and then for food I only need like 80 to like $100 a week for food,
right?
And then everything else is kind of like just excess,
sitting in there. Yeah.
Right.
excess, or whenever I need money.
Right.
So throughout this time, I've been able to maybe save like 500, 600 a month,
Mhm.
and then it comes in. But it's just I've had so many different unexpected events
Expenses.
Right.
coming up, and that's why I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Mm.
But I think as I keep working, it should just balance out.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think so too. I think it's also important to, like, now that we're like actually working and then we're also young, I think we have to save too.
Yeah, but
I think
like my spending habits have gotten worse
worse is
Mm.
you think?
because throughout the LVN program,
Uh-huh.
I had to save money like crazy.
Right. And now you're spending.
And
okay.
now I have to spend money, and like because I know I have money in there,
Mhm.
like I know I can still get this,
Mm.
but it just I wouldn't be able to save as much, right?
Right.
So then my spending goes up more. Like I would want to go out with you guys, like eat
Right.
food.
Right.
Mhm.
Plus,
And man,
started
going
drinking
out
alcohol.
is expensive,
Yeah,
dude.
like especially since we
Yeah.
drink alcohol now, each meal is like $10 to $20 more expensive.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So it's like, how many times am I gonna do this throughout this week? Because
Mm.
every time we eat out, it's like $50, $70.
Yeah.
And we go out. If I were to go out like 3 times a week with you guys,
Mhm.
those are already like $210 a week.
Yeah. Right.
Easily adds up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so fast.
So I might like cut down, like maybe like hang out with you guys like once a week,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will also don't want to buy like smoking devices
Mm.
just because
Man, that's hard.
yeah, every month, you know how much money goes out on that shit.
Man, don't
Yeah. So I'm like slowly starting to like stop buying stuff. Like
Mhm.
I might buy something here and there,
Mhm.
but it won't be like one after the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard though, like to fix that financial, like setback that you're at.
Mhm.
But I think what I've been learning in my job is that like because I'm so young, you have the greatest financial asset. Nothing can beat that I'm 23.
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
like I have like, for example, like me getting a policy now versus someone in their 30s, like
Mhm.
I would have been making so much more money like through that policy by the time I'm 40 than when they're 40.
Yeah, because you're just building up.
Right, because it's
Yeah.
for me it's been what, like 17 years? No, what is that? 27 years? No,
Till
17,
40.
But then
Yes.
23 to 40.
Yeah.
But then for a 30-year-old it'll be 10, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
right.
so like the fact that I just have that 7 years on that person is just
Mhm.
like it's crazy. It's like it's
Yeah.
honestly the greatest financial asset. And so I just been, I think I had to make a sketch like a budget plan. And
Mm.
so because my paychecks aren't like Isaac's where like I get a certain amount like every 2 weeks, right? It's more when I make sales, I make money.
right.
And so I think I need to set aside certain amount of money
Yeah.
to like put it into my 401k, Roth IRA, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because if I don't, I know myself, I'm gonna spend it.
right.
And yeah, I know I'm gonna spend it. So I think making that budget plan is really important. And luckily for me, like for you, you're paying rent right now, but I mean I still live with my parents,
Mhm.
so I don't have that expense. And so I
Mhm.
want to take advantage of this time where I'm not having those expenses,
take
where
advantage.
I don't pay for gas, right? I mean, once I start driving, I guess I will, but I don't pay for groceries, anything like that, And
Mhm.
so while I'm in this circumstance, some people might see it as like, oh, you're still living with your parents? I mean, hey, I am, but I'm gonna be saving money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so while I'm, in this stance, I want to save as much as I can so that, when I do go out on my own, I'm not lost.
yeah.
I don't want to ask my parents, oh, can you send me, $100 I need to cover rent? I don't want that.
Right. Right.
And so I think I want to take advantage of this time that I have at home, just save money. Because, I mean, there's no expenses going on unless
Mhm.
I'm going out to, have fun. So, yeah, I think I can save a lot.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I get a lot of sales too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, everything works out. Yeah.
I've also been in a dilemma recently.
Mm.
So like, kind of like, as to what happens after this program.
Mm.
So- Yeah, like whether I should go back home and live with my parents for like,
Oh yeah, we talked about this too. Yeah.
like half a year or for a whole year to save money,
Mhm.
or to just move out like
Mhm.
straight like out of Lorenzo and like live somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the pros to like moving with my parents is I get to save money.
A
Yeah,
lot
of money. I can pay off like whatever debt I have because I only have student loans
Hmm.
because I didn't want to. I'm paying for it, like for the other parts of it.
Right. For your RN, you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then my student loans for my LVN.
Oh, yeah.
I would be able to pay that off in like maybe half a year or a year.
Hmm.
And honestly, it would be easier like that.
Mhm.
But honestly, if I were to move out with like a roommate, rent's gonna be cheap either way.
Right.
Mm.
And through that, I could just save money and just pay
Mhm.
payments.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It's just a bit more work to do it that way rather than
Staying at
live
home.
at home. But I don't want to live at home either because
Yeah.
like my parents are they just nag you. Like I'm already used to like living like by myself.
Right.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
alright, I could do what I want to do. Like I don't have to come home at a certain time. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard
think
to
at the same
transition
time,
back.
it also motivates you when you move, when you're by yourself, or when you move out.
yeah, like you're by yourself. You got to do your own shit.
Right, right.
Like
Mhm.
whenever I'm home, dude, I'm lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I have my parents to cook for me. but, like, shit like that. Like
They say, Isaac, come eat, and then
Yeah.
you eat. But then when you're living by yourself, there's no one saying, Isaac,
Yeah.
come eat. It's, I gotta cook.
I also have
Yeah.
like a in-unit washer and dryer too.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
That was so big for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I had to go to a coin laundry.
Oh,
I
man.
hated it, bro. Like you're committing like 2 hours to stay
Yeah.
there because you don't want people to steal your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like in your area, like near USC, I feel like people will steal your
Yeah,
shit.
like even in like OC area, like we live in La Palma, so it's a little ghetto. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
told you guys, like my fucking bike was stolen off my balcony.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Like I was right there. Like that guy did some parkour shit and like got off. Like it's so crazy out there. Like
Yeah, no, dude. You just don't know
Yeah.
what's out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my dilemma right now.
Mhm.
But I was kind of hoping you guys had some insight on it.
What are you leaning more towards?
I don't know. I'm like, that's why like I'm really like 50-50.
Mm.
Yeah, we talked
But-
about it. We're saying like, because I also want to move out, and I was saying like he was talking about how his lease is gonna end soon. He's debating whether he should go home or if he should move out again. And I was saying like, yo, let's like move out together. I feel like that'd be so fun. I definitely see the cons to it because I did see the pros for going home because man, you save so much money.
It saves
You're
so
gonna,
much.
you're gonna save so much money, but at the same time, man, I do not want to go through that nagging.
Mhm.
I mean, like, and also like, yeah, it's gonna motivate me to just be by myself and having responsibilities. Like, oh, I have to pay rent, then I have to make money. Like, I can't be slacking anymore, you know. And I feel like that definitely motivates you. Like,
Right.
just being in a new place, new environment, with people that will, support you and grow with you.
Mhm.
So yeah, I feel like it's a great idea, but I feel like you gotta weigh out your options first.
Yeah,
Because saving money you would save so much money.
I would.
Mhm.
Dude. But it's also because I kind of had to like pay my parents back
Mm.
because they put a down payment for my tuition.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
So they had put in like maybe like 20K, like a little over 20K.
Mhm.
So I kind of had to just pay that off first,
Mm.
or pay off my student loans first, and then I pay them off
Mm.
without interest.
Right.
So it's like,
You got a couple of years ahead of you, man.
What's What's your deadline for deciding? Like, when is your lease up?
next year.
Next
Right
year?
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
you have time to
Yeah, I
decide.
just want to like to think.
Yeah,
of
think about it
now.
first.
Yeah, like just so I know what to do, and
Right.
in case like I have to like find a place, then I have to find work around that place,
Right.
Mm.
Right.
and I can only move out to that certain area if I get a job in that area,
Mm.
unless I want to commute to LA.
Hmm.
I mean, what about you, Alan? You're the real estate guy. What do you think? You think it's a good idea to be moving out, or you think staying home, saving money? What would you recommend for Isaac?
Well, in your position, I would say that it's really relative, or it's really up to you, like what you want.
Right.
It's not really like what's the smarter decision, I think, because
I agree.
like regardless,
They'll both work.
yeah,
It's just
I think it's just what you want.
yeah,
Right,
like
I
we're
agree.
friends
I
at this
agree.
point.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Because what you're saying, I think they'll both work, and one might be faster and one might be slower than the other, right? But like I think at this point in our life, we have to take responsibility for our actions, and so if you do decide to move out, you'll just have that much more responsibilities. But going back to burnout, like as long as you don't burn yourself out, right? I think it's totally a great idea.
Mhm.
But also, like, let's say I were to go back home, and then like I had a roommate, like a good roommate,
Mhm.
but now I don't have a roommate. Now that I want to leave the house
Mm.
because that roommate couldn't wait,
Right.
and they found another roommate.
Just find another roommate. Then.
No, but I want one of you guys to be my roommates, like one of my friend group.
I mean, I feel like a year is enough time for. I feel like even in a year, someone would be ready.
Yeah, like if anybody, like if I were to have any roommate, like why would I get some
Right.
rando?
I wouldn't want a random
Like
person.
I'd rather
either.
just have one of you guys.
Right.
Mm. I don't know. I'm gonna go contrary to that because I think it's different living with the friends versus being friends.
No, that is true, but that's why you kind of have to like choose. Like it can't just be any.
And
Yeah, it has to
And
be. You
I
have to
agree
choose
with
wisely.
Alex, 'cause, sometimes you don't know person's real colors until
Yeah.
you live with them.
Or their living habits. You just don't know their
you don't
living
know.
habits.
You don't know, and I mean, like this is like a stereotype that always comes up, but like you find out someone's true like colors once you go on a vacation with them, right? Like
Yeah.
once you stay with them for a couple of days.
Mhm.
But I mean, imagine doing that for a year.
Yeah, and you're locked in.
Like, like we could be really good friends, right? But like living wise, we might not be compatible.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think you have to. That comes with trial and error, but also you can kind of like deduce like, oh, I kind of want this type of person, and like fit it to that kind of roommate. But it's hard. You just don't know.
And
Yeah.
it's also like a lot of communication if you're gonna live together. Like tell your preferences
Right.
beforehand
Right.
Right.
rather than bringing it up as like an issue.
Hmm.
Right. But I feel like with friends, what the problem is like.
You don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you don't want to say certain things, and that kind of leads to problems because eventually, like if that's always bothering you, it's gonna lead to a problem.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's like, are you a roommate first or are you a friend first? Right? Like which relationship comes first?
Well, to me, it would be a friend,
Right.
and then
See,
it would go into like roommate. Like
And then at that point, I'm asking like, what are you willing to sacrifice with someone as your roommate, right? What are you willing to sacrifice in your living situation to have that friendship, to sustain that friendship, right? I think it's just something that you should think about.
Yeah.
I also feel
but
like
it's also
living with a rando is like it's weird, dude.
it is yeah
Like I don't trust you.
Yeah.
To look after my stuff.
yeah
Like
yeah.
he could easily, or he or she could easily take some shit,
Hmm.
and because I'm not home often, like I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm